6 months and they're like 18 months and 3 and 4 years old.
Yeah.
So they change so fast.
That's right.
I mean, it's been 6 months, that's 8 months in November. So just wait till next year sometime. They're too cute.
So let's see. There's Susan and there's Jill. Hello, hello.
Hi.
It's very nice to see you. Thanks for joining me. We'll see if we get a few more people here. We've got 2 folks in the room here. And I'm going to get my Instagram turned on. I'll be careful with the music today so I don't get shut down. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. So we're live on Instagram. And Cheryl is there. Hi, dear. This is good. Let's see. Let's see if I can get a good angle on this thing. So we were doing our Tai Chi class yesterday outside in the side yard on the green grass, and it was quite nice. Cheryl was with us. There's Ronnie. Ronnie, I have to get back to you. I'll call you later, okay?
Jesse there?
You must have your, no, he's not on here, but maybe he will be. Is he going to do Instagram or?
No, he was going to do Zoom.
Well, maybe he's coming.
No, he was already signed on.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he'll be back.
All right.
I showed him how to sign on.
Showed him how.
I showed him how.
All right. So typical me, I'm still futzing around. Oh, there's Jesse.
Oh, okay,
Hi, Jesse.
great.
I'm futzing around with camera angles. So let me try to get this a little bit better here. I'll move this around during class. Hopefully you guys won't get seasick when I do that. All right, so I'm on live. I don't know if anybody's showing up here. It'd be fine. On this class, it's just as well that it's on Zoom, right? So let's see. You can keep your sound on. If it gets loud or something, I'll tell you, and then I guess I'll have to ask to turn the sound off, but it's okay. So we've got David and Merrill in the room, and we've got you 5 guys there on Instagram. So this is wonderful. Welcome, welcome. Let's see here. How do you know that it's a yin class? It's my yin class, right? Here we go. This is how you know. There we go. So now it's official. It's a real yin class. I hope you have some supports there. You've got a ball or a block or something like that. Let's just sit comfortably, like cross-legged or something. And sweep your arms up. Inhale here, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, bring your hands wide and down. Sweep it down. And inhale, float the arms up. So palms face up, like you're lifting the sky. And exhale, press the hands down, almost like you're floating tall. And again. So if sitting doesn't feel good with this, you can always stand. We're just moving the arms. Now bring the arms up. And I'm just going to bring the left hand down. So if you're standing, put the left hand on your thigh, okay? Go over to the side, reach over. Now, so I've got my right arm up. That means my right hip wants to lift. Let it lift a little bit, bring the arm over a little bit, and then drop the hip down and feel more stretch in your waist there. And then come on up, bring that down. And let's see, Ronnie went over to Instagram. Okay, why not? Lift the arm up and reach it over. Let me see, I'm going to, I gotta work on this, so just keep going there. Hi, Ronnie. Let me see, I think I've got my, there we are. There you are. There I am, there we are. Lift it up and bring it back down. Okay. Ronnie, you know what? If you could go back onto Zoom, can you hear me? If you go back to Zoom, it's probably better because I'm not getting a good camera angle on here. I don't know why. I can't manage it today. So we are going to start in butterfly today. Feet are together, knees are wide, your hands are around your toes. Let the knees drop. Inhale here. Exhale, just let your hips sink. Pay attention to the place where your body is touching your mat, where your body is touching the ground. We'll take a few breaths here before we do any other movement. Inhale here and exhale. Can your knees float down just a little bit further? So you got that lengthening, the deepening in the groins, and inhale and exhale. Sorry. I've got seasonal allergies, so I forgot to take another pill. So let's see how that goes. So let yourself start to round here. It's usually worst in the morning. Oh, yes. So you allow your head to feel heavy. I hope the back of the neck feels really long. Just let the chin drop towards the collarbones. Now, I hear from some people that their low back doesn't feel good when they're sitting like this. If that's the case with you, you could try putting a tiny prop underneath your sit bones. Just to be up an inch or 2 inches can change the whole feeling here. Breathing right here. So I didn't put any music on today. It's pretty quiet here at the club. Yeah, you're wondering why. Yeah. Well, what we're getting is that just sound of the traffic outside, that kind of white noise. It's not bad. Take another inhale. You'll exhale here. With your hands pressing into the mat, press yourself back up to vertical, and then put your hands on your knees and float your knees up. Wrap your arms around your knees. Let your chin continue to drop. So let's do our corkscrew, but we're gonna approach it a little bit differently, okay? So it's just like the movement's gonna be a little bit different as we approach it. Let me change my angle here. There we go. Okay, so you're gonna be sitting with your hands behind you and your feet on the floor on either side of your mat, okay? So that means your feet are wide. You let your knees go right and your knees go left. So we just do that a few times and then we'll just progressively build on that. So side to side. So let's bring the knees off to the right. As the knees drop to the right, lift your left arm here, sweep it around, look behind you, and then float the arm back. Drop it down behind you, lift the knees up, and you're going to go to the other side. You're doing this slowly. So you're just kind of exploring here. How big is the range of motion? Don't let the feet come towards each other. Now this time, how far around can you see? Spot something, really all the way around, and then come around again. So the nice thing about yoga is, you know, I mean, you've done a lot of other physical things in life, right? You probably, maybe you've had kids, you've done sports, you've done this, you've done that. But doing yoga, you really learn a lot about your body that you did not know before. Keep it going. Bring it around. Now, a couple of you have bolsters that might be behind you, but you don't have to have them here. Sweep it around. So my knees are off to the right. Okay? That left arm is up. Sweep it around. Now we're going to stay around here this time. So we kind of primed the pump. We got you ready for this. Both hands are on the ground. I'm going to leave my arms straight for a while. I'm going to lock my elbows and just hang out there. Oh. Now, if you feel like dropping down, of course you can. You can be on your forearms. You could be all the way down on the ground. You kind of make this your own. So between your hips and your shoulders, you've got your spinal column here. And I want you to visualize it as a spiral staircase. Each vertebra is moving around a little bit more. If this feels challenging to you, it's probably because you just don't do it much. It's a great way to keep your spine supple. So we're about halfway through this. If you feel like dropping deeper, be my guest. I really love this particular rotation because you can also visualize your discs, right in there in your vertebra, getting squished progressively as the spine rotates around. Your discs require this movement in order to stay squishable. They remain healthy because you are moving them. All right? If you don't move them very much, they start to get a little bit hardened, or they lose their elasticity a little bit. They lose a little bit anyway from just the years going by, but you have a lot of hyaluronic acid in there that keeps it flexible. Take another inhale here. And exhale. Begin to walk your hands back. And really slowly unwind. Sometimes that's the first time you really feel the posture. So you're back on center, you're hanging out there. So we did one side. Let's just sweep the knees from side to side again. Of course, your feet are off the mat. And this is nice and slow and easy. Now, when it's off the next time on the left, just leave it over there. Your right arm sweeps up, and it's a nice, graceful rotation. How far around can you see? Let your spine get used to it. Good. So I'll check out our timing. I want it exactly the same amount of time. even if you're all the way down on the ground, can you let yourself drop into this a little bit more? We're just going to turn up that sensation of gravity. And you have 1 more minute here. Take another inhale. And you're going to exhale. Here, let's unwind. Ooh, this side's tighter on me. Ah. Yeah. All right. So, just do a little cat and cow. If you don't want cat and cow, do another little stretch, whatever feels nice. Uh-huh. And back to neutral. All right. So I was, I think I mentioned, I know I mentioned last time in class, I was mentioning that I had read a book by a man named James Nestor that's currently on the bestseller list. And it's called Breath or Breathe, one of them. Anyway, was talking about breath patterns, and you know, as yoga people, this is what we pay attention to. We pay a lot of attention to how we breathe. And I had mentioned it in my yoga training that, you know, there's a lot of attention in the practice of pranayama. Prana is breath. Pranayama is the practice of breath. So we do it by modules. So you spend a whole weekend studying one particular part of the practice. And there are 8 levels of yoga when you're studying it, and the asana, the practice, the postures, is level 3. Level 4 is pranayama, it's breathing. And we spent 20 hours on that. We had 4 hours on a Friday night, 6 hours all day Saturday, and then 8 hours all day Saturday, 8 hours all day Sunday, just on breathing. And that's just considered, that's like your introductory breathing training. Now let's bring our legs straight ahead. So this is caterpillar. Some of you like to bend your knees when your legs are straight out. So here's the deal. If when your legs are straight out and the knees are not bent, you have to lean back in order to keep the hamstrings happy, that means that you want to bend the knees. You definitely want to bend the knees. Maybe stick a soft pillow or a rolled up mat underneath there. Let's inhale here and then exhale. Round yourself forward. So as I've mentioned many, many times, the practice of yin doesn't have any particular breathing pattern. You can add it, but it's not like when you do vinyasa and you're doing what's called ujjayi breathing, that real heavy duty, powerful aerobic type breath. So we don't really do that here. Instead, we're really more focused on having a nice smooth inhale, kind of a medium length inhale, and a longer exhale. So maybe a 3 count on the inhale and a 5 count on the exhale. So David, you were in class, you were in Natalie Wenzel's class where she did the one where when you're standing and your back's on the wall. So I'm going to offer you that opportunity to maybe take that version if you like it, okay? So this is this shape. I want you to just notice your nose is getting towards your knees here, okay? While you're doing this, I want you to notice that it's the same shape whether you're sitting down and your heels are on the floor or whether you're standing. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that you can turn your body in a different direction. You can stand up. You can put the back of your head on the wall and you can let your weight drop into the wall. David, would you mind if I put you on here as an example, or should I do it myself? Okay, so David said yes, he'd be okay with that. So let me show you that. So there he is. So he does that very well. So he's standing. It's the same shape in your body as caterpillar. The legs are relatively straight, maybe a little bend in the knee. The nose is coming towards the knees. The emphasis is quite different because gravity is different. Gravity has changed here. We have 1 more minute here. The other version is to be lying on your back. It's the same shape again, and your body's basically in plow. Meryl, can I use you as an example? No? Okay. Right. Take another inhale here. Exhale. You're going to start to come out of this. Woo. Yes, indeed. So if you were at the wall, if you were on your back, if you were seated, you're going to come back. How'd you like that, David? Good. It's a good one. He likes that one. Yeah. He likes that version. It's interesting. So we're going to be seated with the hands behind you and the feet flat. So it's nice to have these variations. And let's just float the hips up. This is a stretch. So we know that your legs are strong. We know your glutes are strong. You can float yourself up there. Just take a couple breaths there. And you're going to bring yourself down. So here's one where you're going to do one or the other. So I'll show you exactly what we're doing. Let me get the camera angle again. So you're going to have, let's see, my right leg is going to be straight out. And your choice is to have your foot forward. Your left knee is bent, foot is into the thigh. So that's an external rotation on the thigh. But you can lift up that knee and you can float the foot back behind you where your heel is towards your tush. Now, on some people, this causes knee issues. The knee doesn't like it. If that's true for you, you're not going to do this. You'll just you'll switch your foot around into the other thigh. Does that make sense? If it doesn't make sense, take yourself off mute and tell me. That's the big advantage of having a Zoom call. So I think that makes sense. We've all done this before. So my left foot is into my right thigh, and I can switch it so that my calf is on the outside of my thigh. The knee is happy, and you can hang out there. Now, if you can get the top of the foot flat, the shoelace portion of your foot flat, if you can get the pinky toe down, it's even more of a stretch, okay? Okay, let's inhale here. Now, if your foot is forward into your thigh, I want you to lean forward. If your foot is back behind you, like I have, you're gonna put your hands behind you. So we're just doing that kind of a hero's posture, but one leg at a time. So there you are. You're hanging out in your posture. And you should be feeling those quadricep muscles in the front in your thigh. I hope you're feeling that. That's what we're going for. So this Mr. Nestor said that in many cultures around the world, religious cultures, or mostly religious, sometimes just kind of spirituality in general, that when people say these kind of litanies, these prayers over and over, a lot of times it's very rhythmic, that you'll find that it fits the shape of the human breath. It makes perfect sense. So he said, in examining different cultures, religions around the world, you'll find very often there's a group of words on the inhale that's short, and then a group of words on the exhale that's somewhat longer. And I don't know that many other religions, and I certainly don't know the prayers, but for my Catholic friends, it just popped right into my head as soon as I read this. So you've got the inhale, Holy Mary, Mother of God. Exhale, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death, amen. So people will sometimes say these prayers, and it's a form of meditation. They're breathing while they're doing it, and you get into a rhythm, right? And there's a rhythm. Every religion has some version of that rhythmic prayer. And don't you know, that fits that breathing pattern perfectly. So I'd be interested in learning some other prayers from some other backgrounds to see if that's true. It makes perfect sense to me. Oh, this feels good. All right, here we go. Let's come on up. Now I'm going to take that leg out. Whatever you had there, move that leg around. Make sure the knee is happy. You can move the leg a little bit. You can bring it up in front of you. Like maybe hold it like a baby. Bring it back and forth. Yeah, Merle can do that. Yeah, rockabye baby. There you go. Okay, no big surprise. We're going to go to the other side. So here we are. So this might be a completely different story on this side. Don't assume just because you did that shape on the other side, it's going to work here. Like when I do this on this side, it doesn't work at all. I'm falling over. So I have to go into the other version, foot into thigh. It's okay. We're just taking the hip joint and moving it through that socket. You can also sit up on something that will make this more available. I don't remember the words to the Indian chants, but when I was in India, we went into any number of temples. And people are praying that way. They're praying in Sanskrit, they're praying in their own language. And it's very much that rhythm. It's an inhale with a certain number of words and an exhale for the rest of that prayer. And then they say the same thing over and over. So the cumulative effect of having these longer exhales, Mr. Nestor says, is that it slightly increases the amount of carbon dioxide that your body holds onto. And carbon dioxide in the proper ratio in your body is totally healthful. It's not a toxin because we have carbon dioxide in our lungs quite a bit. So you're never going to have zero carbon dioxide in your lungs. But it helps to switch the ratio, and it creates a ratio of carbon dioxide to oxygen that creates this calming effect. So when I'm at the doctor's office, I'm in the dentist's office, and I need to get a shot of Novocaine, I definitely use that breathing pattern. And I'll tell you, it's really helpful. As soon as I find out that I need to have that done, I just start the breathing pattern. You usually get a few minutes in before it actually happens. And you'll find you can start to alter your mood. You can calm yourself down. We have 1 more minute. Sometimes you find you can tolerate only a couple minutes in one of these yin postures. There's nothing wrong with coming into it for a couple of minutes and then just resting. You don't have to hang out for the full time. Take another inhale, and you're going to exhale. Okay, so I'm going to give you that sideways version. So the one we call sidewinder. If you don't like sidewinder with a ball underneath your rib cage on the side, you can lie on your back. We did banana posture, I think last week. I think we did. Yeah. And so you can lie on your back, and you can take your legs to the left and your arms to the left, and that's all fine. I'm going to go get a ball and do the full sidewinder. So. Yeah, so any kind of cushion is good. So the ball goes right beside your heart, and then you lie down sideways. Try to not let it roll up towards your shoulder or all the way down towards your waist. You might have to adjust yourself once you get there. Bend both knees, take your upper leg back a bit so that the ball doesn't create instability. And then you got to figure out what to do with that lower shoulder. Depending on how your shoulder is feeling, you can put your head on a pillow or a block, right? If you don't want to stretch your arm out, or if it's possible, you can lay your arm straight out and put your ear down on that bicep. So play with that a little bit. Actually, a second ball wouldn't be bad there. Okay. Ooh, I'm feeling that. This ball is quite large here. So put your hand on your upper ribs. Can you feel them expand a little bit? I'll bet you can. Right? So there's a lot of space in there. You're opening up those intercostal muscles. This is great. Take your upper arm, reach it up towards the ceiling, and then let it drop over your ear. Hopefully that feels very nice on your shoulder. So if it doesn't, just change your arm. So the knees are away from each other, so you're nice and stable. This is pretty intense. Woo. So the larger the ball, the more of a challenge. I've got a long torso though, so it's okay. Okay, let's see. You Instagram people are looking at my waist. Okay, sideways work. So if any, I'm going to put a little plug in for a different class. I'm going to take this off for a second because nobody's near me. Closest student is 15 feet away. You might all be aware that there's a Tai Chi class on Wednesdays taught by Kenny and Bashira, and it's a terrific class. And it's at 12:30 on Wednesdays, and we're starting to Zoom it. We tried it out this week, and it was a success. So that was nice. So it would be something to add to your curriculum. It's, you know, it's not yoga, it's not Pilates, it's something different. And it's quite nice. We're doing it outside at the moment. So we are on the grass, and we were able to stream it on Zoom. And we're going to try, the only thing that didn't work well was the sound, so we're going to try to get the teacher hooked up with a wireless headphone so that you can hear the instructions. It's not ideal to start virtually, but you could probably pick up a lot of it. And he's very encouraging. So just a word to the wise. It's on the mind-body schedule, right, Merle? It is. It's on the mind-body schedule. And I guess when it gets cold, we'll come back inside, but for the moment, it's gorgeous outside. All right, so let's take that upper arm and bring it down. Woo, there we go. Okay, can you just stay on that side and pull the ball out? We want to get the spine back to neutral. So you're going to lie on your side as if you're lying in bed. Pull your knees up into your chest. And that should feel like a big transition. It does for me. Wow. That's very, very nice. That's some deep work, folks. You're doing deep work. Okay, let's start to come on up. And no surprise, you're going to find that on the other side. So you find the version that works for you. It's either banana posture or you swing your legs off the other way. Put the ball beside your opposite waist, heart actually, and lay on down. Take the knees apart. Figure out how to accommodate that lower shoulder. I know it's a little bit difficult for some of you. Let's see. Whoa, my camera's swinging around. There we go. So let's try that breathing pattern. Let's inhale for 3, for 2, for 1. You're going to exhale for 5, 3, 4, 3, 2, and 1. See if you can keep that pattern. Just keep smoothing out the exhale. It's almost like you've got a steam iron on your breathing pattern, and you're taking out those little kinks. One more minute here. Oh boy, okay. So that ball is going to come out somehow, and you'll get into that side lying. Oh wow. So it's really rare that you get to expand the side ribs like that. That is wonderful. All right, let's just come around onto your belly. We're going to do the one where we cross the arms underneath. And we're going to start with the left arm underneath today, okay? So you're on your elbows. Your hips are definitely on the ground, and your whole body is kind of sinking. You're going to take your left fingers, bring them behind your right elbow, and just slide them off the mat. Let both arms be really relaxed. Put your forehead on your right forearm. Rest here. Wiggle your hips side to side. Let your right hip be heavy. So we'll take a little less time here. So I like to think that the last one we did, the sidewinder, that does work your shoulders somewhat. One more minute here. Okay, we're going to start to bring that left arm out. Move it around a little bit. Wiggle the fingers. And then get ready to bring your right arm underneath you for the other side. Again, you're trying to totally face the floor. Wiggle your hips side to side. So just check it out. What's your breath pattern right here? Actually, you guys have all been practicing for quite a while. Sometimes that just becomes automatic. And the breathing pattern starts as soon as you roll out your mat. It becomes a good habit. So you have good company in class today. We've got 2 people in the room. We've got 4 people on Zoom. And we've got 2 on Instagram, which is pretty much our usual number, 8 people. So you're not alone. It's really nice to do this group activity. So even if you're not seeing each other, you know that we're here. All right, we are going to start to come up here. And then everybody, hopefully, does everybody have a ball and a block or a roll of paper towels? Roll of paper towels works. We're going to use both. Not everybody's going to need the block, but most of it are going to need it. So here's what you're going to do. Your bowl is going to be underneath, or your block is going to be underneath your head. And I would put it on the top setting, all the way behind you. And then the ball is going to go behind your shoulder blades. So not up at the neck, but sort of mid-back there. And then you're going to start to lie back. Make sure it should feel like it's right underneath your heart. And then your head's going to drop back. Now, for me, like this is a little too high with the head. I want to have a little more opening on the chest, so I'm going to turn my block down a little bit. And that's going to stretch it both ways. It's going to make the shoulders fall apart from each other, and it's going to lengthen from your collarbones down to your pubic bone. If you have a very small ball, you might not even need a block underneath you. How's that on your neck, Meryl?
I'm not feeling anything.
Yeah.
in my chest.
Take it down.
Is this a lung or a hard bench?
This is, are you using the ball or the,
No, I-
or you're using the lung bench. The lung bench is with a block, right?
Do I want to push?
It's up to you. It's up to you. If you guys know heart bench and you prefer that, you can do that. I like this because it's extremely user-friendly, and I don't turn the upper block down when I'm in heart bench. That stays high because you want a neutral neck. So that's the difference. Bye, David. So if you have the ball, you have permission to turn the block down. Otherwise, I want your neck in neutral. So Meryl, are you feeling the broadening?
Yes.
Good.
It feels good.
Yeah. So I find the big difference with using the ball underneath the shoulder blades is that you get that broadening in the upper chest. Whereas when you have the heart bench there, it feels like the heart is rising, but the shoulders aren't necessarily getting broader. That looks good. Jill, that looks very comfortable. Ah, I get a thumbs up there. She gives a thumbs up. She's feeling good. Take an inhale here. And exhale. Let's start to roll off to the side. We're going to come on up. We're going to squeeze in 2 more postures here. So here's your choice. You can do a squat, which I know is not great for everybody, but it's an option. So your hips are low, your feet are flat. You got sort of 90 degrees at the ankles, more than 90 degrees at the knees. To take pressure off your hips, maybe you're sitting on a block. Or if you know frog, right? So it's the same knee position. Your knees are wide, feet are behind you, So either do a seated squat or a frog posture. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do the seated squat. It won't be here long. This is a 2-minute posture. Not even that. All right. Again, no knee pain. Oh, yeah. One knee is not happy with that. Okay. So if you've got your elbows in the front of your knees, just gently press your knees away from each other, and that just adds to it. Susan, are you loving that or hating that? Okay. I don't love all of these, trust me. Some of them are tough. You have only 30 more seconds here. Woo. So I don't just feel that in my hips, I feel it in my lower back too. Where do you feel it, Mara?
I just feel it here. I don't feel it.
In the thighs?
Not really.
No. Would you feel it without the block?
A little.
Little?
But it doesn't hurt my back.
Good. Doesn't hurt her back. That's good. Okay, let's come out of there now. Here we go. Here's the payoff. You get the posture of your choice. So you can be flat on your back. You can sweep your legs up the wall. Totally resting here. Find something lovely. You can lie on your back with a pillow underneath your knees. Oh, Jill, that looks like a really nice bolster. Yeah, good, good. Get comfy there, find your shape, good. Okay, so we got a little of everything here. So once you get there, draw the breath in. 3, 2, and 1. Let it go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And keep that going. Sometimes by the end of practice, you can take an even longer exhale. Draw an inhale here, and on the exhale, you'll start to roll onto your left side. So that's your yin side. That's the opposite of what we do in vinyasa class. That is our subtle side, our little less obvious side. And let's come up into an easy posture. Nice. All right. So let's sweep our arms up. Inhale. Let the palms meet and draw the hands right down to your heart. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, let's take this off. Meryl is what, 20 feet away? I think so. Bring it on down. She's safe. One more time. And bring it down. Thank you for joining me this evening. I hope you have a lovely evening as this sets you up for a beautiful yin evening. Why don't you unmute yourself and say hi? Nice. Hi, Cheryl. Thanks for coming. It's so nice to see your face. Hey, Susan. Hey,
Hi.
Jill.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is good. And we got Ronnie and we've got Jesse. So it's cool. Meryl and I say goodbye.
Bye.
Okay. Have a good evening. Bye.